Hello again, Live Leak. I had gotten some questions about our little project that we had in school. I said I'd try and fix it, but unfortunately, when I let the kids play with it, they put the batteries on backwards, and the capacitors on my power supplies, well, they leaked. It took me a while to clean all that stuff up, and I don't have any of them on hand. I might repair them later, and if I do, I'll definitely post that. But just to explain what this is, first off, my power source for the main system is a battery I stole out of one of my UPSs, and I'm going straight from here to this simple car to 12 volt to 120 AC. The reason I used a basic one instead of building a rectifier myself was, or an inverter myself, was I was powering a Connect for Windows, a laptop, and this tiny ass router right here. And I didn't trust my electronic skills. The Connect was rather expensive. Well, I got 3 of them all together, and I paid for 1, and I was given 2. The whole point of the system was to drive through a room to ensure that it was cleared. Like, well, let me start over. When we started the project, we had to come up with a customer, we had to come up with an idea, what we wanted it to do, and to convince somebody to use it. Well, our target customer was FBI, SWAT teams, anybody who was going to go in and breaching room to room to room. And the point of it was to make sure that they can see inside of a room, but not only with a video, but also with motion detection, because somebody could be camouflaged or whatever, and this could tell bodily skeletal structures. So if it could recognize something like that and it moved, it had to move. If it moved, it would pick it up instantly and tell the remote person what was going on. There was a laptop sitting up here. Before I fried the initial receiver circuit, I had to build a quick one just to get the damn thing running. Lots of stuff went wrong with this thing. But anyway, what happens is the remote control will go in and tell this receiver that it's receiving signals. The receiver lines would come through up to the board. The antenna lines would be coming into here saying, yes, I'm receiving, or no, I'm not receiving. And the actual functions of the motors would come in here. And it took us probably a week and a half to program this board with pulse width modulation of these motors. I've got 2 VEX 360 servos on each side, and to power those I use these power supplies which go from 12 volt to whatever I wanted them to go to. Well, for speed variation I could change the voltage going to the motors up or down. I just told it to go to like 7, I think was the final voltage we stuck at. Again, I used these drill batteries just by plugging them in here. I even painted it because I had done what the kids done, and I put the battery in backwards and I had fried the capacitors. But anyway, it was really cool. One thing I didn't anticipate was the Kinect needed a lot of video processing. And give me 1 second. About a half hour into testing, yeah, on my mom pajamas. About a half hour into testing, my laptop video card shit, and I lost the screen. Of course, the battery's dead now, but anyway, So we had to use a bigger laptop, and I ended up putting this cage on top of this. So I could set that. It was a clusterfuck when we went to actually go show it, but when we did show it, it did what we said it was going to do. So yeah, unfortunately right now I don't have the capacitors here to replace these. Otherwise I would give you a demonstration. Anyway, I enjoy making these videos, so if you guys want to see anything different or something, hey, I'll tell you what though, you guys saw those 2 lasers I had. I would, if somebody will send me some 450 nanometer glasses, I'll give them the green laser. Because once I get some glasses for the wavelength, I will definitely start doing experiments with that big one. Anyway, thanks and have a good one, guys. I also forgot, the reason the Kinect isn't here is because I went to this little festival thing and these high school kids were displaying their robots. And they had some really cool stuff. I mean, these are high school kids. This is my college level work right here. And their programming wasn't as drawn in as this was, but their board level stuff was much more complex. So I gave them the Kinects, and I told them, you guys can have these, you can do whatever you want with them, but when you guys go into 3D scanning, all I want is the code. And it turned out, the leader of the engineering group there, he was like, we can always use mentors and stuff like that, so I went and got my background check and did all the volunteer stuff, and I'm excited. I love engineering, I love building, and to be able to teach people that is amazing. Anyway, sorry about that. You guys have a good one.